Good morning, everybody. Could I have your attention? There are some additional seats, at least a few up front for those. I don't want to have anybody have to stand. A hearty good morning to all of you. My name is Strobe Talbot, and it's my honor on behalf of the Brookings Institution to welcome all of you here this morning to a joint symposium that is sponsored by a number of my colleagues here at Brookings, the Metropolitan Policy Program here, represented by its co-director, Amy Liu, and the Sam Fox School of Design and Visual Arts at Washington University in St. Louis. Now let's just pause a little bit on that matchup. It's a somewhat odd coupling. On the Brookings end, you have a lot of expertise on governance, policy, politics, and in their most nitty-gritty form. And on the Washington University side, you have a lot of expertise on aesthetics, beauty. Now, you can't get two things further apart, it seems, than those two fields of endeavor. But in fact, the two fields do come together in the area of urban design, and that is the focus of today's event. Because the ways in which we shape our cities, the ways in which we lay out our streets, construct our buildings, use our public spaces, use, or sometimes, unfortunately, abuse nature and the environment, are a critical part of the way in which we make our cities, if possible, more attractive and more livable, but also ways in which we can boost economic growth and sustainability. And urban design is going to be particularly important in the century that has now begun, because for the first time in human history, the majority of the population of the planet lives in cities, or what we call metropolitan areas. And that percentage is going to go up to about 70% by the middle of this century. We have three panels today. Each one is going to look at one American and two international metros. And the aim is to see if we can shed some light on what best practices should be in the area of metropolitan policy and urban design. We're very honored to have two distinguished keynote speakers, Professor Ricky Burdett of the London School of Economics. And by the way, Amy and Bruce Katz and our colleagues in the Metro program here have been partnering with LSE for well over a decade. And Professor Mohsen Mostafavi from Harvard University. Today's event is another product of a wide-ranging collaboration between the Brookings Institution and Washington University in St. Louis. Both of us have a common benefactor, Robert S. Brookings. His legacy has benefited greatly both of these institutions and in fact made, as the name of Brookings would suggest, our institution possible. Robert S. Brookings was born up the road in Maryland. Like a lot of young men in the middle of the 19th century, he went west. He made a fortune in St. Louis, and he donated much of that fortune to the university. He came back east to serve here in Washington as a Republican businessman in the administration of a Democratic president, Woodrow Wilson, thereby setting a high standard of nonpartisanship and bipartisanship for the way in which we do our work here. Washington University and Brookings are collaborating on a whole range of activities, including executive and online education and joint scholarship on public policy. We're very honored to have Chancellor Mark Wrighton here with us this morning. He has been a driving force behind the Washington University in St. Louis and Brookings Institution partnership, and I might add, he is due much credit for the stellar reputation that Washington University has as a university of the highest quality and global reach. And on a personal note, I can say in the several years that I've been working together with Mark, he has been a teacher. He has taught me a little bit of chemistry, more than I ever got as an undergraduate, and particularly chemistry as it relates to the critical area of energy policy. Now, before I turn the podium over to him, I do want to make a rather different sort of announcement than that I have made in years past. I used to always end these introductions by saying, please turn off your mobile devices. Please keep your mobile devices on as long as they are silent, and do all the tweeting you want as long as it relates to the symposium itself. The hashtag is InnovativeMetro. So tweet away, and I wish you all a terrific program. I'm sure you're going to have one, and Mark will get us off to a very strong start.
Good morning. Thank you all for coming. It's a real privilege to be here myself, and I'm grateful that my colleagues and collaborators here at Brookings have pulled together such an outstanding program on such an important subject. Tomorrow, Washington University will be celebrating the 160th anniversary of its founding, 1853, February 22nd. By the way, that's how we come to have our name, Washington, that being George Washington's birthday. But in 1853, very relevant to this conference today, St. Louis, our hometown, was arguably the most important city in all of North America. St. Louis was the gateway city for the West, and at that time it was felt that a great institution like ours should be developed. Fast forward 50 years, from 1853 to 1903, Robert Brookings was playing a great role in civic affairs in St. Louis. And the following year, 1904, St. Louis hosted not only the World's Fair, but the Olympics right on our campus in St. Louis. So the founding of Washington University related very much to a great urban environment. Robert Brookings played an important role in the development of our institution and quite obviously in the development of Brookings here in Washington, D.C. And I'm very pleased that President Talbot has supported the development of a renewed partnership that has been rewarding to our faculty, to our students, and to many through programs like that, which we will enjoy today. However, as Strobe has pointed out, the urbanization of the world is ongoing and poses a great challenge as we look ahead. Our overarching goal as a university right now is to enhance our global leadership today to benefit America and the world tomorrow. Our faculty and students are working to develop design principles that will lead to sustainable urban environments. Innovative cities will be an important part of the world's agenda, and we hope to contribute in a positive way. In the last several weeks alone, I've visited Mumbai, New Delhi, and Accra in Ghana. In these cities, we have important university partners that we're working with through the McDonnell International Scholars Academy. Indeed, we have 28 university partners around the world now, and many of them are located in important urban areas, some developing and emerging, others mature and very sophisticated. But we also know that domestically, we face important challenges. I could not argue to you today that St. Louis is the most important city in North America. However, there is a commitment to the revitalization of St. Louis in ways that will lead to its future sustainability and to create an environment for its citizens that will be very rewarding and will be a city with economic prosperity through the development of new enterprises stemming in part from our efforts to build innovation and entrepreneurship in our region. Many of our faculty have been involved in these programs, and it's a reward to be able to recognize here at our program Professor Peter Mckeith. He's Associate Dean and a faculty member in architecture in our Sam Fox School of Design and Visual Arts. He was educated at Yale University and the University of Virginia, and he's been on the faculty at Washington University now for quite some time. But he's had great international experiences, especially in Scandinavia. We're fortunate to have him as an academic leader at Washington University. He's been critical to the development of the Sam Fox School of Design and Visual Arts itself, and has been a great contributor to the development of this particular program today. Please join me in welcoming Professor Peter Mckeith.
Well, good morning again. My name is Peter Mckeith, and I'm the Associate Dean of the Sam Fox School of Design and Visual Arts at Washington University in St. Louis, and I'm a co-organizer of today's symposium here at the Brookings Institution. On behalf of Dean Carmen Colangelo of the Sam Fox School, Dean Bruce Lindsay of the School of Architecture and Urban Design, and Professor John Hole of our Urban Design program, I want to offer our deep gratitude and profound appreciation to President Talbot and Chancellor Wrighton for their combined vision, energy, and support for these collaborations of the Brookings Institution and Washington University. Over the last 2 years, working in particular with Nicole Allen, my colleague in the Dean's office, we have enjoyed a productive partnership with Rob Puentes and Amy Liu of the Brookings Metropolitan Policy Group. We are very grateful to all who have given their time, counsel, and financial support to this combined effort. This partnership with the Brookings has been an ideal initiative for our school's purposes. As Dean Colangelo often describes, teaching and research at the school are informed by our collaborative and interdisciplinary mission. But in particular today, our focus on and our growing strength in the area of sustainable urban design is a result of strong research and knowledge creation among our urban planners, architects, designers, landscape architects, all in partnership with national and international policymakers. We've identified this mutual common ground with the Metropolitan Policy Group, and today hope to explore best practices in sustainable strategies and tactics that might foster economic development and, by extension, job growth. Good design, good public policy, and a good economy should be and must be mutually reinforcing each other. The aim here today, and going forward from here, is to thread together the virtues of all that we do in architecture, landscape architecture, urban design, and art with the research, public commitment, and policy expertise of the Brookings Institution, and so to produce an even stronger fabric for education, professional practice, and metropolitan policy for our nation and worldwide. Today's program will approach this larger single aim through 2 keynote presentation speakers, and we are very fortunate to welcome Professor Ricky Burdett of the London School of Economics and Dean Mohsin Mostafavi of the Harvard Graduate School of Design, and then 3 design and policy panels spotlighting metropolitan case studies by city representatives from across the nation and the world. The success of this format, however, relies greatly on the engagement with you, the audience, or should I say more precisely, you, the citizens. And in the overall spirit of collaboration, we encourage your active participation in a day of animated discussion and dialogue. Additionally, for those who are members here of the American Institute of Architects, your full participation may well be motivated by the promise of AIA continuing education credits. And please see my colleague Nicole Allen down here in front to register your number. To begin our discussions then, it is a pleasure to welcome and introduce Professor Ricky Burdett. Professor Burdett is Professor of Urban Studies at the London School of Economics and Political Science. He's head of the Department of Sociology and director of the LSE's Cities and the Urban Age program. He's a global distinguished professor at New York University. His research interests focus on the interactions between the physical and social worlds in the contemporary city and how urbanization affects social and environmental sustainability. Professor Burdett was chief advisor on architecture and urbanism for the London 2012 Olympics, and I too noted, together with Chancellor Wrighton, that relationship at least between London and St. Louis, and an advisor to the Olympic Legacy Park Company, of which I believe we'll hear a bit more today. He was architectural advisor to the Mayor of London from 2001 to 2006. And in addition to leading innovative research on global cities, Professor Burdett has curated numerous exhibitions, including Global Cities at the Tate Modern, a fantastic display of visually and physically representing the state of of cities in the world today, and was director of the 2006 Architecture Biennale in Venice, and chairman of the jury for the 2007 Mies van der Rohe Prize. Co-editor of 2 books based on urban age research projects, The Endless City and Living in the Endless City, Professor Burdett is a regular contributor to journals, books, and media programs on contemporary architecture and urbanism. In November 2012, Professor Burdett became a member of the UK government's Airports Commission. It is no coincidence, I think, therefore, that he has arrived by airplane from London just yesterday to initiate our proceedings. And it's again my pleasure to welcome him to our symposium and to the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Ricky Burdett.